And I am here with today's guest. And as I always do, I'm just going to let him introduce himself, say why he's here, say a wee bit about himself. And if you've got anything you want to ask myself or the guest, you can text me on 07538 984 984. That's 07538 984 984. And I'm just going to hand it over to you and let you say what you've got to say.
Okay, thanks very much, Christina, for inviting me in. My name's Gordon, and I'm from a charity called Real People Scotland. Real spelt REEL, because we specialise in teaching and developing film making skills. So our charity, we use film making as a way to help people express themselves, and also as a way to develop creativity. We use it for lots of things, actually. We use the whole creative process to kind of have discussions about all sorts of social and personal issues like addiction, mental health, personal well-being, the impact of social media on young people. Recently we just started a short film with people in recovery from domestic abuse. So yeah, quite a lot of different topics.
So why filmmaking? Like, how does creativity help? I mean, if you're coming to you, how does that help?
Well, the first thing I suppose it does is it gives people a kind of platform to express ideas and just to express creativity in general. I think for me, creativity gets you in touch with some part of you that can help your mental and emotional health. It's you're using your mind and emotions, but you're also using some deeper part of you as well. I think your imagination and just going through the creative process, I think, can really lift people's spirits. It also gives them, as I said, an opportunity to share a bit of their story, because that's kind of what we want to do. I mean, we mainly this year have worked with young people between the ages of 11 and 26, but we work with any group really. And usually we try and think of what are the topics, what are the issues that are affecting people. And as I said, we use the filmmaking process, but that's how we started off, because a group of us were short film makers. And also my background's in education and teaching. I was an English and media teacher for 20 years. But we use the whole process, and we also use music production and drama and art. We did a graffiti art project with a youth group. So we do really anything, although we kind of started off with the filmmaking because that's the background of most of the people that started the charity.
I mean, the people, you train them to make the films and stuff like that. Does any of them ever go on to use that?
Well, hopefully they will. I mean, this year we've really just started. I mean, we've been a charity since April 2018, but really we only got funding April 2019, okay. So we've really been less than a year of doing projects. We're actually tied in with the local Clyde College, who have said that we can use their editing suites, and they're going to feed into us some of their HND students next year to come and do projects with us, hopefully. And likewise, if people come through our project, then we'll kind of encourage them into education if that's what they want to do, or just to develop creativity at a personal level. I think the only person just now who's developed it further than the project, we had one girl who's went travelling and she'd created a video blog. I think you call it a vlog.
A vlog.
And we were helping her out with that. We helped her set it up, we just taught her about basic camera stuff and how to upload it to social media. And so she was volunteering in India and Asia, and she's also in recovery for addiction, this girl. So she was using the whole process, because that's part of her recovery, isn't just coming off drugs. Part of her recovery is her whole person, her whole well-being, her life. So for us, the creative process can start that off. You know, it can let people see that you've got something to say, you've got something to give, you've got a lot. And not everybody's going to be into filmmaking. I think that's how we've ended up extending it. But we turn every project into a film, whether it's a filmmaking project or not. So
it's like a music video or something for something music.
because we can. it's a way for us to show them as well the process after they've been through it. And part of our aim, our overall aim, is to get the films that we've made, especially the ones that we've made this year. So we're in touch with Glasgow City Council, and we're trying to get the films into schools because we want to raise awareness of cocaine addiction in particular, which is massive in Scotland.
How bad is it in Scotland right now? People don't realise just how bad it is, do they?
No, I think it's absolutely huge. I mean, and then, so I mean, I'll give you an example. So when we were doing this film, I can't mention the name of the particular recovery group. It's a 12-step recovery group. But one of the guys who was the initial contact said to me, so 10 years ago, there was none of this particular recovery group in Glasgow, and now there's 90 meetings a week.
Unbelievable,
so
isn't it?
Just for cocaine. So it gives you an idea of that's the scale. And we talk to a lot of young people, especially people between the ages of 16 and 25 who are now leaving school, going into the club scene, and it's almost normal.
Yeah.
And for us, one of the biggest things that's come out in all of the films that we've made is that, we're trying to get to the root issue, not just the kind of how do you address people once they're addicts, but what's causing somebody to become an addict. So for us, that's, I suppose, one of the big overarching aims, is to try and address why are people uncomfortable in their own skin? Why are there so many people that don't like themselves? And we think creativity is a way that you can really develop your self-esteem, because it lets you see, I've got something to give, I've got some... And it's amazing what people are capable of doing once you give them that opportunity.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant. We're going to come back after the ads, but a quick question. You mentioned that girl's vlog. Where can people see it?
It's on our Facebook page, although I'm not really sure I can mention her name.
But they could probably look on your Facebook page.
Sure,
and get links.
I'm sure if they contact us on our website, then she'd be quite happy probably if people wanted to contact her. But
that's cool.
I've not cleared that with her.
we'll tell people how they can get in touch with you anyway, but we'll be back after this, so stay tuned. And we're back, and so how did it come about? Real people, like, what was the thoughts behind it and stuff?
Yep.
Tell us a wee bit.
So Real People, it's been an idea in our minds. So me and a few friends who make short films together, we kind of... We've got quite a kind of social conscience as well, and we always, the three of us in particular that started it, all came from quite difficult backgrounds socially. So, and through our own creativity, and not just that, but lots of other things, recovery programs and education, and we got to the point where our lives felt quite good, or a lot better than they were, and part of that was creativity. So we wanted to try and put something back, but that was just an idea a few years ago. As I said, partly my background is education, and I left teaching to go back to university a couple of years ago, not thinking that I was going to start up a charity, but it just seemed to be the right time. Me and a friend of mine, Robert, started making moves, and we started kind of finding out whether a charity or a social enterprise would be the best thing to do. So we decided on the charity. We've been trying to get funding. As I said, we started off initially just thinking, we're going to teach people how to make films, and we do that. We teach them how to use the cameras and the lights, sound equipment, editing where necessary. Every group that we work with, we kind of tailor the project to the group, because not every group wants to get completely involved in the filmmaking process.
Everybody's different as well.
So we just kind of try and kind of have a feel for each group and see what works. But some of the films that we've made this year were completely made by, particularly the films we made with the young people, with youth groups. They did all the camera work and all the sound. They took quite a big part in the kind of collaborating for the ideas for the project and for the topics, and we usually spend a few weeks before we actually start doing anything really creative. We spend a few weeks just getting to know the people that we work with, and finding out what do they want to talk about, what would they like to make a film about. So I mean, myself and the people who started the charity, we'd spoke about it for a long time. And really we just felt like we see all these social problems,
Yeah.
addiction and mental health in particular, and we thought, what's helped us with our own mental health issues over the years, and we thought, well, creativity's been a part of that. Now that we're in a position, we thought to give a bit of that back.
Yep.
We thought, well, why don't we set up a project? And it's harder than it seems when you try and set up a project because it's time, energy, and money.
Yeah.
And essentially that's the biggest thing. We need funding because a lot of us are working voluntarily on the project, but you can't sustain that when you're working 20 and 30 hours a week on it.
So how much work does go into it between yous? And you're doing this for free, so how much of your time goes into this?
Well, I administrate the project, and we've usually got at least... So this year we had 3 projects on the go every week.
That's a lot.
And that was the ones that we'd get some funding for, but we also had about 2 or 3 projects that we didn't get any funding for, but we just thought they're great ideas. So we made a short kind of profile documentary with a craft cafe in Govan, that works with older people, and it's an amazing, what they do is amazing, the work they do is fantastic. It's really an antidote to loneliness, one of them said to us, and so yeah, I mean, because our hearts are really into what we do, we want to do it and we need some kind of funding, but at the end of the day, you kind of don't want to keep harping on about that. But at the same time, you need it.
Yeah. How much of a difference would funding make compared to right now when you're struggling to work voluntarily? My speech gone now. How much a difference would funding make?
Well, funding would make a massive difference in the sense that we've had groups who've said to us, in fact we had a school group who had said to us, can you come in and do a project? And we had to say no, and we really wanted to do it because it was a group of young people in the school who weren't accessing the mainstream curriculum. I really wanted to do it because of my own background, but I just knew, we're doing 3 projects just now, we've got another 2 on the go as well, on the kind of periphery. I don't have the time or energy because it's not just, so I help deliver the project, but so that takes 2 or 3 hours usually per project, but you've got the preparation for that and then the evaluation, which can take quite a lot as well, and that's an ongoing process because you're working with different groups and there's a dynamic to every group. So
funding's important. I mean, there's so much more you could do and so many other people you could help if you had funding.
Aye, definitely.
So how can people, if people were listening to this and they're like, well, I would like to fund that, what would you suggest they do?
Well, firstly, I suppose contact us at, on our website. It's www.realpeoplescotland.com, or they can contact us by email, which is realpeoplescotland@outlook.com.
And you're looking for projects and groups and stuff to get involved as well, aren't you?
Yeah, we'd love to hear from anybody who would kind of like to use our services and use the skills that we've got. If there's any groups out there, schools or youth groups, doesn't have to be young people. Any group that thinks, oh, that's a great idea, we'd love a group of people to come in and do a creative project with us, whether it's filmmaking or not. As I said, we did a graffiti art project this year, and we did a music video with a group. As I said, we worked with the Craft Cafe as well. So we're kind of open to any group really, but if they were just to contact us, even just for a chat, even if they weren't sure what it actually involves, we would come in and we would say to them, well, here's what we could do. We could
and the
work
same with the
beside
funding. If people wanted to chat to you about where the funding was going and stuff, to just get in touch, couldn't they, and have a blather about that?
Of course, aye.
So ages, what sort of ages are the people that you help?
Well, this year, as I said, it was mostly... So we had 2 groups that were secondary school age, 11 to 17, 18. And we also had another group which were a wee bit older. They were young people in their mid to early 20s. They were all in recovery from addiction. And we made 5 short documentaries with them. So a couple of them are on our website just now if anybody wants to have a look.
And the documentaries you made, you're having a showcase of them, aren't you?
We are, yeah. So on the 14th of April this year, I think, is at 8 p.m. So it's ticketed but free.
Okay.
So again, if anybody wanted a ticket, they would contact us. There's 150 seats in
Is
the
that the cinema, the
theatre.
CCA cinema?
Yeah, the
It's a
CCA
good
is
space.
the Centre for Contemporary Arts. They've been fantastic with us. They've been really supportive. They love the idea of what we're doing. And they really want to kind of get
They're
behind
also
it.
a great organisation for helping people, aren't they?
Aye, they're fantastic. So yeah, we're going to showcase all of the films that we've made this year. By that time, there'll be, I think, about 12 films.
That's a lot.
And I say they're all quite short.
short films.
So 6 or 7 minutes. Usually we try and keep them. We also post them on our social media. We've actually got films made which we kind of release in a kind of stage by stage rather than putting them all out at the one time and bombarding people. So yeah, we're, every group we've worked with has enjoyed it so far, and we love it as well. We love working with other different groups. It's mostly, as I said, been young people, but we're open to working with anybody and addressing any issue. One of the issues that's come up quite a lot is, and we're thinking about making a short documentary, is about young people who have either attempted suicide or thinking about suicide. And I know it's a heavy issue, but it's quite a big issue.
We will chat a bit more about that after the news on the hour. So stay tuned, and if you've got any questions, of course, get in touch on 07538 984 984. We are back, and we were just chatting a wee bit there, but about the impacts of social media and stuff. But before that, we were talking about young people and suicide. So tell us a wee bit about that.
Aye. Well, I mean, not just young people, but I mean, there is a lot of young people as well that obviously affects. But I mean, I read a statistic the other day, and it said 2018, the government said 784 people in Scotland killed themselves. Do you know, that's a lot
of people.
That's a lot of people and a lot of families and a lot of friends and a lot of heartache. Do you know, and that's one end of the scale, which it's horrific, obviously. But we're also interested in the other end of the scale, which we see all the time, which is not even low level, but people are anxious and depressed, and people finding it really difficult to deal with their feelings and stuff like that. And part of the process for us is using creativity as a way of expressing emotion. Sometimes just as a way of getting in touch with emotion through, talking about certain topics and things like that. So, I mean, hopefully we're going to try and address that a bit more focused this year, the idea of suicide and mental health with particular groups that we hope to work with. But it's a massive issue, and it's heartbreaking, especially, I wouldn't like to be young today. I think young people have got a hard time, and the impact, the first film we done, as I said to you, Christina, was the impact of social media, and that was eye-opening. They were telling us that you need 150 likes on average before you would keep a picture up or a post on Instagram, and that's a lot of people that need to like you before you can feel good about yourself. And
it's totally different,
it's a different
when we
world.
were growing up. It's
a different world, and I think it's not going to go away. I'm not advocating against social media. It's just that we need to educate about what's it doing, how does it make people feel in terms of body image, self-image, in terms of just well-being in general, just anxiety levels. And and as I said, the group that we worked with at first, the youth group, they were really honest in telling us, they do get anxious before they post things on social media, and even after it, and bullying on social media and things like that can be horrendous. So all of these things for us are tied in. They're all about mental health and well-being.
I definitely think it's a lot harder now than when we were younger because of social media and stuff.
Definitely.
But so, say if people want to get involved with you, can people get involved with you?
Aye, at a voluntary level, you're talking about
voluntary, or just come along and take part in.
If people contact us, and they want to kind of get involved, either to be part of a project or to be involved as a volunteer, they could certainly contact us, and if we can fit them in, we'd love to. We're open to anybody at this stage. Although we've been going, we're really quite a young charity, really. It takes a few years, and hopefully this year we'll get a wee bit more established. But if people want to come along or contact us through the website, if they're interested in these issues and in creativity and in volunteering, certainly. Well, I'll be happy to chat with anybody that wants to give me a hand. Aye.
But the more people, the better, isn't it, for helping out and stuff, volunteers and stuff.
Aye.
But it's bound to be nice to see people when they come through the door and then they work on their creativity to how they become.
Aye.
I mean, that must be a nice feeling.
It's brilliant. Aye. I mean, especially the young people who were involved in the films about recovery from addiction. All of them were saying they were just really happy to find a platform and a place to share a bit of their story. I mean, they do that in recovery meetings and stuff, but a lot of them, they've got a real heart to help people who are in the same position. And there's a lot of people out there who don't even know that such a thing as recovery exists, both for addicts and for people who are living with somebody else's addiction. You know, there's recovery groups out there for that, because addiction isn't isolated to the individual, it affects the whole family, you know.
It affects everyone, I know. So I was going to say something there and my head totally went blank. Honestly, it's the weirdest thing, but what was I going to say?
I don't know.
What was I just talking about? Oh my God, my brain just goes somewhere else. So
talking about people getting involved with us.
Yeah, you were talking about people getting involved, and could you use volunteers, yeah?
We probably could, yeah. I mean, we need projects first. I suppose that's. I wouldn't want to invite too many volunteers. We'd happy if anybody wants to contact us. Definitely feel free. But we really need projects, and we need funding essentially. You know, because we've been sustaining it for a couple of years, doing what we've been doing. But and we've got funders on board who have made a kind of commitment to us. You know, the Robertson Trust have helped us out last year. Glasgow City Council helped us out through the area partnership. The National Lottery helped us out through Awards for All. Tesco's even helped us out by giving us a gift card to buy crisps and juice and sweets. And for these things are all definitely, because if you're not getting those wee things, then it's coming out of your own pocket.
Exactly. Essentially,
even travel, all that kind of stuff.
So funding's really good. And people, this is the thing, people think the arts are really elitist and you can't access the arts. So for people to see that you can, that must be a great big thing for them.
Aye.
So tell us about, can we just talk about your book, because you wrote a book, didn't you?
I did. I'm always reluctant to talk about it. I wrote a book about growing up in Glasgow. It's based on real people. It's based on actual people. So although it's written as a fictional novel, the book is essentially about two young boys who grew up living with alcoholism and domestic abuse, and it's about how your social environment shapes who you are. So we see people in the world today, whether they're people who are caught up in the criminal justice system or people who are caught in addiction. That doesn't happen in a vacuum. It happens in a particular social environment. And so the book's kind of about that, and it's about their kind of journey. The book's called Sons of Thunder, and you can get it on Amazon. There you go. That's the plug.
What advice would you give to people? If you could give any advice to somebody right now, what advice would you give them?
I would say to people, start talking. Find people that you trust and talk about how you feel, because I think it's a big part of the whole mental health. And other charities are really encouraging people to do this. See Me and Breathing Space and Choose Life, I think, is another one. But I would say to people, and especially young guys, it's okay to feel things. It's okay to feel sad and angry and scared, and it's not unmasculine. Right? It's okay, and it's okay that it's okay to not be okay. It's okay to be falling apart sometimes, and it's necessary. We need other people. We need to make connections with people, and that's what we're trying to encourage through the creative process. It's not just about creativity. It's about people connecting to themselves, connecting to other people, and finding a way to express a part of their journey in life.
And what about if there's somebody listening to this and they're thinking, I would love to make a film about things I've been through, or I would love to write about it, or make a song about it or something? What would you say to them?
1, go for it. 2, if you need any help, if we could, we would help you. As I said, time's always the issue for us, but we've encouraged, and we're actually kind of speaking to a few people who have been through our projects to do that kind of thing, to tell their story. One girl in particular, for example, she wrote a lot of poems, and we'd want to turn them into digital poems for her and get them up online, because they're beautiful, and they're all about being bullied at school and self-harming, and again, quite heavy issues, but she's got something to say, and if we can help her to say it through film and creativity, then we will.
And if people want to see what you're about, they can obviously go to your showcase. So remind people about that just before we wind up.
Sure. Yep. It's so our showcase is at the CCA, which is the Centre for Contemporary Arts, and that's on the 14th of April. I think is at 8 p.m. If you really wanted to go and you wanted a ticket, you can contact ourselves. Please, if you're not really going to go, don't ask us for a ticket, because there's only 150 tickets, and we don't want 100 people to say they're going and then don't go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we've actually not got the tickets yet, but within the next couple of weeks, if you want to contact us, if you want to go, or even if you just want to be reminded, it'll be up on our website and on our social media. If you want to follow us, we've got a Facebook page, Real People. We've got a Twitter page as well, and we've got a YouTube channel. So all under Real People, spelt REEL.
Yeah. So, and tell people again very quickly the website and stuff, and how to get in touch if they're thinking about funding you, or they want to get in touch to volunteer,
Sure.
or they've got a project. Tell them who to get in touch and how.
Right. Well, you would just get in touch through. There's a contact page on our website. Our website is www.realpeoplescotland.com. If you just go into the contact us drop down on that, you just send in an email and a message, and it'll probably be myself that would get back to you. And as I said, we've also got an email which is realpeoplescotland@outlook.com. If you want to contact us, again, it'll probably be me. Gordon. I'll get back to you. In case you forgot my name, which you probably have.
Gordon, thank you for coming in and telling us what you do, and I really hope that you get the funding and stuff, because it is important. It's really important that you get it. But keep us updated as well what you've got coming up. And thank you for coming in. All
Thanks
the best.
very much, Christina. Cheers.